Hello everyone, we're here for a life update. This is not a channel update, this is a life update. I haven't been making videos like I normally do, mainly because, well, life is taken over. Now let me explain all this so you guys understand where I'm at in my life. One, I was single for many, many years. I dated here and there. I just never met the right woman. Something inside me just kept saying no, 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 no. Okay? And I got into my mid-40s and I met the right woman and got married. Having been single for those 40-something years, it took quite a bit of an adjustment to get into a marriage. But she's been patient with me, I've been patient with her, and we're getting better. Every day we get better. And that's all you can ask for. I married a superwoman, let me tell you. Right now, she is pregnant. We're about to have our third child. Should be here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. She has a full-time job. She is going to grad school. She started a small business. Yes, all of this while she's pregnant. I married superwoman, and no doubt about that. You know, I think that's in part why we get along so well, because I have my small business, the YouTube channel, and various other aspects of life that I'm trying to keep going. I'm just as busy as she is. Okay? Now, speaking of other aspects of life, I'm going to get personal for a few minutes. Over the last 2 years, I haven't shared any of this with the YouTube people, because it really hasn't been a concern or anything. It's going to show up really soon, though, so I'm going to talk about it. In the last 6 months, I was diagnosed as a diabetic. Some of you have commented over the years, I'm getting a little fat, I need to cut back on the food. You were right, you got to cut back on the food. The first thing the doctor told me is I got to lose some weight. Well, I've lost about 10 pounds in the last 3 months. I'm diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. It is food controlled. It is no medicine. We caught it early enough that I'm not having any issues there. I don't have to take insulin or anything like that. I don't have to monitor my blood sugar levels. I just can't have any food that's good. Not good for you, that tastes good. No carbs. I can have some carbs, but they got to be low, low, low. Like I'm allowed 20% of your daily allowance of carbs. Not 100%, 20%. That sounds horrible, but I'm eating lots of mushrooms and broccoli and fennel and spinach and stuff like that. Beef is out of the question because my cholesterol got too high. So I had to cut back on the beef. My cholesterol level is now well below the minimum. It's healthy. It's where it should be. My blood sugar level is down. It's healthy. It's where it should be. So all these things are controlled. Just diet and exercise. It's something we need to do anyhow, especially as you get older in life. The more you exercise, the easier it is to maintain your lifestyle. Okay? But the major one I haven't discussed. This is a problem I've had all my life, but I didn't really realize it was a major problem until I got told by a doctor I need to go see a heart specialist. I had had a heart murmur all my life. I mean, in college, I ran track. I used to be able to run a mile in 5 minutes. That's good enough to get a track scholarship. I did have some scholarship offers, and I didn't take them. Okay? But I could have. I was a physics major, so, you know, physics, athletic scholarship, they don't mix. You won't have time with a physics degree to do that. Plus, I had to work full-time in college. So, you know, full-time on the kind of jobs you get as a college student, and a track scholarship, well, that would have taken away the full-time work and replaced it with a track scholarship. But the physics degree, no, I couldn't do all that. So I got the physics degree. I also got an engineering degree from Texas A&M. And, well, all this time I had this heart condition, and I really didn't know about it. And then a few years back, my doctor I have now looked at me and said, "You got a heart murmur." I said, "Yeah, I knew about that." And he said, "Well, you're going to go see a heart specialist." Turns out that one of the valves in my heart doesn't line up right. And it's the valve that's between my lungs and my heart. Okay, so my blood is not getting its oxygenation level correct. I'm too low on the oxygen level, so I get winded pretty easily. Amazingly, all this time I've been going on 3-mile runs. Get that? Okay, I knew I wasn't up where I should be, and I knew something was wrong, but I'm still doing these 3-mile runs with this heart condition. Doctor told me about a month ago to stop the 3-mile runs. I can walk 3 miles, I can't run 3 miles. Okay, I got that. So now, it turns out about a month ago, the heart condition got bad. I was in the hospital last month. They put a sonogram microphone down my throat so they can get right next to my heart and got an image of the heart valve so they know exactly what's wrong with it. It doesn't line up right. Heart valves should line up like this. Mine lines up like that. So blood is leaking through the valve because it can't close. So what they're going to do is constrict my heart back and get the valves to line up correctly. Now in order to do that, they have to cut me across here. So I'm going to have open heart surgery in December. Okay? Recovery expectations are very good. There's not a huge chance of failure of this kind of operation. Just a very uncomfortable recovery and a couple of weeks long recovery. But after that, about next year at this time, my blood oxygen levels are going to be normal for someone my age. I'll be able to start the exercising back up again. And I will be stronger and better. The valve, there's nothing wrong with the valve other than it doesn't line up right. So once they get it to align correctly, we're done. It's not like a valve replacement every few years. None of that's coming. Okay? So once this operation's done, all my health issues should be corrected. And I should be fine. I should have my, nice shadow pattern going here. It looks like a V on my head. I should have the, everything under control, everything where it should be. I'm still losing weight right now, so that's going in a good direction. Just between now and then, we're having a little bit of fun. I have to slow it down a little bit. Not much, though. That's the good part. On top of that, we found out my mom had cancer in March, had surgery for that in April, and starts chemo next week. My mom, being in her 80s, can't live on her own with all this, so she's moved in the house with us. So for the last 2 weeks, since my mom is moving out of Houston up to College Station, I have had to shuffle mom between all these different doctors, trying to get everything aligned right so that she can have this chemo. So that's eaten up a tremendous amount of my time. Okay? And our house, they're still doing construction on the house. 2.5 years later, they're still working on this house. Just yesterday, we had an electrical problem in one of the walls. I'm starting to get really fed up with this whole mess in this house. They're still fixing everything. They're not complaining. But, I've got shelves coming apart in closets. I've got the electrical problem that just happened. All the appliances we bought with the house are slowly breaking. And I'm having to replace those. It's just a mess. Okay? So put all these things together, the 2 kids, school's out, my mom is sick, I'm not feeling the best, Nellie's pregnant, last spring my business was up by about 15-20%, so I'm working a lot harder and longer hours. It means zero hobby time, and I've had zero hobby time. I talked to the wife tonight, she said, get in that hobby room. Stay up a little bit late. Go in there. Well, I'm making this video instead, simply because it is 12:30 right now. I got to be up at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'm not going to be in the hobby room. Most of everything I can do in there, I need an hour or two to work on at a given moment in time. Unless I start a new kit. I can always start a new kit and do something for 5 or 10 minutes. That's easy. But I don't want to start a new kit. I want to finish off the 6 or 7 I got going. Especially the 2 different enterprises. Plus, Miri, the 3-year-old, watching Godzilla every day, gets me to want to pull out one of those Godzilla models and build one of those. And then finish the T-Rex, because she loves watching Jurassic World. So there's a lot of fun there. just lots going on. The two girls are doing good. I know I'm not mentioning one of them. There's some reasonings behind that. You know, we've just got issues in that area. She's fine. There's nothing wrong with her. There's just circumstances beyond our control. Beyond that, everything's good. We're all happy in the house. Relationships in the house are good. It's a big enough house that everyone's got their own space to go to. Everything's good. I'm just not finding the time to do the hobbies. I'm doing what I need to do instead of what I want to do. I'm going to find some time for what I want. Work has started back up for me. I'm at the end of a 3.5-week vacation. I'm getting on a more regular schedule. Once that baby comes, I'm off the regular schedule, which will be interesting for a month or two. But I remember when Miri came, I had time to build a couple of models and work through contests. So we will see what happens there. Okay? No name for the future baby yet. We're still discussing it. We've been having a lot of fun messing around with names and initials. Like my initials spell Jeff. Nellie's initials spell Neff. Okay? So we're trying to get some sort of middle name that starts with an E and a first name that spells a word with an E. Like Miri's initials are Meph. Meph, Neff, and Jeff. So I want something like Kef or Def for the baby. Okay? So we all have E starting middle in names. I just think it's funny. Okay? And then we have Miri and Bibi. So I'm like Kiki, and Nellie's like, no, we don't need a Kiki. We're going to stop with the name theory going, because that's for Nellie and I to decide upon. I'm not putting up to a vote on YouTube. I get in trouble there. Okay? But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed the life update. Yeah, I'm feeling fine. Don't go worrying about me. I'm not worried about that operation at all. I've talked to too many doctors, too many friends who are doctors, and they're all like, yeah, it's going to be painful. It's going to suck to have it, but you're going to feel a lot better afterwards. And the prognosis on that kind of operation is really good. It's not one of those risky things. I mean, any operation has its risk. True. But it's not one of those ones where the chance of dying is higher than the chance of survival. It's definitely not one of those. They've done so many of these things. You got the right doctor, he's competent, you're fine. And we got good doctors here in town. I have only met a couple of bad ones. Bad one this last weekend, but we're not going to get into that. So everyone, I hope you have a wonderful week. Hope your life is good. Life finds you happy. I can keep making the review videos of model kits even if I'm not in the hobby room building. I've got a couple more review videos coming up. I'm thinking about making a series of videos on YouTube channels. You want a YouTube channel. How do you go about doing this? What kind of photo equipment do you need? Do you need a lighting set? I'm not using a lighting set in here. I'm using the natural ambient lights in here. That's why my face is in shadow. This is amateur video time. I move up. It's not so much in shadow. Lighting's behind me. I could have moved where the lighting would be shining down on top of me, or the camera, the lights coming down between me and the camera, which would be optimal. But I wanted to make the video in this room today. This is the library. You can tell by all the books behind me. And if I move the camera enough, some of the Godzillas are up there. Yeah, I got a collection of Godzillas. Isn't that fun? I have another collection of Godzillas up there. But anyway, I digress. Hope you enjoyed the life update. I'm going to get back to model building for a short period anyhow. I should have some time tomorrow morning to get in there. Nellie's got a summer job going, even though she's in grad school and pregnant, and is leaving me in the mornings alone in the house with my mom, which is okay. I can get away and come up here for an hour or two and work in the hobby room. Okay? So I should start making some progress again. I got really hung up on the navigation lights for that Enterprise. It turns out I didn't have the 555 timer chip down the way I thought I did. I know I made videos on it and sound like an expert, and those videos have 10,000 views. I'm going to do an update on that soon. So I've been thinking about making a series of videos on a YouTube channel starting a YouTube channel. What do you need? What do you do? How to make it successful. Mine is successful in the fact that I've got so many subscribers, but I'm not earning a living at it. The people who earn a living at it are doing something different than me. Okay? That's fine. I don't have time for what they do. Not with my small business being successful like it is. But I have an idea what makes a good YouTube channel. I know what kind of photo equipment you need. I know the lighting, the editing software. So I might go through and make a set of videos on that. Give a talk about my video equipment. The camera I'm talking to right now, this camera is 8-10 years old. It makes good videos. It's not expensive. You don't need to spend a fortune on cameras, for instance. All right, this video is probably approaching the 20-minute mark, so I'm going to get off here. Yeah, it is. I'm going to get off here. You guys enjoy. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Kiss a loved one. Don't have loved ones. Go find a loved one. Okay? I know some of you say, that's a lot easier to say that than to find one. Yeah, I felt that way for a long time too. You get things right in your life, you'll find the loved one. All right, have a good evening.